Hi, I'm Rev Myron. I'm a minister through Pathways of Light, and I've been a Course in Miracles student for 43 years. I'm going through the lessons again this year, asking Jesus for clarity, and then I write from that clarity, and that's what I'm going to share with you today. Before we start, just let me ask that if you find this helpful, please like it, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Okay, so what we're looking at today is lesson 323. I gladly make the sacrifice of fear. Here is the only sacrifice you ask of your beloved Son. You ask him to give up all suffering, all sense of loss and sadness, all anxiety and doubt, and freely let your love come streaming into his awareness, healing him of pain and giving him your own eternal joy. Such is the sacrifice you ask of me, and one I gladly make, the only cost of restoration of your memory to me for the salvation of the world. And as we pay the debt we owe to truth, a debt that merely is a letting go of self-deceptions and of images we worship falsely, truth returns to us in wholeness and in joy. We are deceived no longer. Love is now returned to our awareness, and we are at peace again, for fear has gone and only love remains. Just as we learned yesterday, the only thing we have to do to restore our memory and save the world is to let go of what is not true. To be clear, we're not giving up this story we pretend to live. We're giving up the pretense that it is real. I'm not asked to sacrifice this body, only to accept that it's not me and does not affect what I truly am. I remember when I first started studying the Course, I wanted what Jesus promises, but not right now. I thought it meant I would die, but that's not what happens. The story continues until the script ends, but it does so without belief in it. What does that cost me then? Apparently, all suffering. In this book, Awake, Angela DeLulo, MD, who has been awake for many years, says this about awakening. Ultimately, it's about the end of suffering in this lifetime. So this is what we gain: freedom from suffering. There is no cost I would not pay for the promise of the end of suffering. No more wishing for something to change so that I could finally be happy. The only change needed would have occurred when I sacrificed fear. For the years I've been studying the Course, I have been chasing that goal. Most of the time, I could not imagine life without fear. I couldn't imagine life with only love and absolute peace. Nor could I imagine how I was to accomplish this. But I'm good at following directions, so I just kept doing that. I'm not there yet, but I am so close that I can almost taste freedom. My son is coming home briefly to pick up some things and then return to Mississippi. Normally, I would be at least mildly anxious about this. What if his car breaks down? He's been using it a lot, and this has happened before, recently even. What if he were in a wreck? This has happened too. Then, because I opened the door to fear, the ego's fears would get absurd. Those thoughts occur now too, but I'm aware of them, not attached to them. I am not my thoughts, which are changeable. I am that which never changes. And that understanding is starting to be more real than the ego thoughts. If I feel fear arising, I also feel it falling away. I notice the thought that something could happen on his way home here, and it's an invitation to fear, which I also notice. I want to run away from it, and that is another changeable thought. So I let the fear stay, but it doesn't. I guess that means I sacrifice fear for freedom. All that remains is what has always been true but unseen, a peaceful emptiness and a quiet joy. To clarify, here's what I've been practicing. I am as God created me, which means I am eternally unchangeable. I am what is always here. The world changes, the body changes, thoughts and feelings change. I do not. I am what witnesses all of these changes. That is what has always been happening. But before, I thought I was a body in the world, and the thoughts and feelings were both real and had real effects on me. Now I'm aware of all this, but by not fighting it, simply viewing it, I don't have the sensation of being affected by it. I've heard others say that I will come to welcome each experience as it arises. This is so new, it feels fragile, and I'm not ready to say that yet. But if the next moment something occurs that brings me back into a story, I don't think I'll be devastated or even concerned. This feels too real to be a temporary experience. Well, we will see. As my friend Tacy says, more to come in the next report from the field. For now, I'm going to keep noticing fear when it arises and letting it pass without grabbing hold. It's a simple practice, but it works. Each moment of clarity strengthens the next, and I can feel the trajectory. I'll just keep watching, keep allowing, and trust the process to unfold as it does. Thank you so much for joining me in this. I appreciate you. And I'll be back soon with another reading. See you then.